From Studio A at 1 Biloxi Square in Fort Worth, Texas, this is the Grandpa and Pappy Show. Yes, indeed it is. Welcome into a Thanksgiving week program of the Grandpa and Pappy Show.
Yeah.
If you're not familiar with the Grandpa and Pappy Show, maybe a first-time viewer, welcome in, first of all, and you have reached a program which lets you, our viewers and people of America, voice their opinions on different topics of the day.
That's a fact.
And as far as I'm aware, this may be the only program of its kind that lets people speak what's on their mind.
It's the only one I know of.
Yeah, I've looked around, but I just can't find anyone like it.
Majority of the times it's a good thing.
Of course, that's what my mama used to say. There'll never be another you. So, what can I say? It's a good show on tap for you today. But first of all, before we jump in, some big things have happened. The Kyle Rittenhouse case is now history. He was found innocent of all charges against him, found not guilty by the jury of his peers. Despite all of the things that they had to go through and endure, the jury came up with their decision, and now we are debating on whether they made the right decision. But just based on some of what your opinions are in our Grandpa and Pappy Facebook group page, you guys think they got it right, and personally I do too. But that's a next show that we'll be doing after Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you, incidentally.
Happy Turkey Week to you all.
Last week, the House of Representatives passed Joe Biden's $1.7 trillion spending bill, and now it's being debated in the Senate. And, of course, last night during a Christmas parade, some crazy lunatic decides to speed down the parade route and went right into a group of spectators. I believe at last count, if I can remember, 5 are dead.
We're talking babies, children.
Yeah, over 40 are wounded, and good Lord,
which wasn't in Kenosha, was it?
No.
In Waukesha.
Waukesha, Wisconsin, yeah.
Wow.
And our hearts and prayers go out to all in Waukesha, and for those that were affected.
Yeah.
God bless them.
You know, I saw a post, and I don't know how true it is, of course, Facebook, I hadn't researched it, by the way, but where there was a police officer that had made an anonymous donation to go towards Rittenhouse defense, and they're firing him over it.
They're firing him.
That's what they're talking about.
I'll be darned. Boy, there's another question.
He couldn't keep his anonymity.
Anonymity.
Whatever it is. Yeah.
But
he had
anyway,
to screw up and tell somebody, I
that's
guess.
exactly right. We're going to be talking about inflation today. The inflation rate is going through the roof. Now almost 7% over what it was this time last year.
That's right.
And we're going to wind up our show talking about your favorite Thanksgiving memories.
Yeah.
And there are quite a few good ones, and I'm sure Pappy and I can share a few of our...
A lot of fond memories back in the day.
Yes.
A lot of fond memories, yeah.
But let's dig in and check out and see what you guys had to say about the high inflation and how it is affecting you. Jeremy Hughes told us on YouTube that inflation is really hurting his family. Although I got a raise at work, it's been eaten up by higher gas prices. Grocery prices are going through the roof as well as everything else. So has it hurt me? Absolutely, it has.
I think it's kicking the crap out of everybody.
I think you're absolutely right.
I drive a big F-350 diesel, so I don't even want to start talking about gas prices.
Yeah.
Stephanie Williams told us that she and her family are definitely careful about staying to a strict food and gas budget weekly. We're feeling the effects in our business as well. People are just not spending money.
Mm-hmm. Well, you either spend money on non-necessities, or you spend it on keeping food on the table for your family.
Yeah, and at this time of year when you're used to budgeting your Christmas shopping
and Thanksgiving,
I mean, it's killer. It'll kill you. Yeah.
Kathy Holmes stated very logically, well, how exciting. We're going to get a pay raise in Social Security, and then, how sad and shocked, they're raising the pay out of the pocket costs.
Yeah.
So much for the pay raise.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Kathy, of course, I'd like to see that raise first, and then we can talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Robert Mathis told us that he's a hardworking, middle-class kind of guy, and it is so depressing that with fast rising inflation, I can't even take my family out to eat without having to do with something to justify it.
Yeah.
Something
without,
to justify it, yeah. They're going to have to get this under control or make a change in Washington.
Yeah.
I vote for both.
Yeah. Robert, I think there's a lot of people talking about that very same thing.
Lord,
Trust me
yeah.
on that one. Jim Krause, Pappy, told us that Joe gives with the right hand and snatches away more with the left. Let's go, Brandon. Mike Norris said that is putting it right in a nutshell. It is getting to the point where I may have to sell my truck since I can't afford the $100 to fill it up.
I feel you, Jim.
Damn, I miss Trump.
I feel you, Bubba.
Just exactly what Pappy was talking about just a few seconds ago.
It cost me about that just to pass in front of a damn gas station in the mornings. Jesus Christ. Brent Hardy said it cost me about $25 more to fill my car up. We can't get any extra groceries and no more going to the movies. Pete Robertson agreed with Brent on Instagram by saying, my family has had to go to emergency measures and cut all unnecessary expenses. Mm-hmm. This is especially difficult for our kids to understand.
And I can understand that. I mean, you know, you've been used to taking your kids out for a burger or an ice cream or maybe taking them to a movie, you know. And if the money's not there, you just can't do it.
Well, that's pretty much the way, in our case, we were raised. I mean, we were poor, man. We were poor.
Absolutely.
Instead of watching horror movies, we had to sit in the corner and make ugly faces at each other because we couldn't afford a damn TV.
I think my daddy put it best. The only horror movie I watch is my checkbook.
Ain't it so?
Skip Starkey told me, you can't be serious. Relief? Ask an intelligent question. Yeah. Well, Matt Bannister came back and told Skip that I, meaning me, yours truly, is very intelligent, and that is an intelligent question. The answer is that relief may come in a few years, as in the next election. Yeah. However, everything is about to balance right now. The balance is thrown off considerably, but nature will correct said balance eventually. I may not be how we would like it to be corrected, but it will be corrected nonetheless.
Well, and the big plus is that balance bar is set so damn high, nobody can afford to live anymore.
Well, that's true.
You know?
That's true. Now, I will say, you know, Karen, God bless her heart, takes care of our books and our money in our family and household.
She understands the numbers.
Oh, she does understand the numbers.
At least I did.
You know, I had to depend and trust on her to make ends meet, you know, to help us stretch that dollar enough to have food on the table, and she does quite well.
I don't know how people do it anymore.
I don't either.
Especially retired people.
Oh, I don't either. I don't either, especially those living just off of Social Security.
Yep. James Graham said over 7.5% inflation rate, not counting oil and gas, and only a 2% raise in salary this year. I took a major step backward. Marjorie Parker said, at the rate inflation is rising, the whole country will be eligible for food stamps. I can't wait to get mine.
Marjorie, that's pretty smart.
I don't qualify.
Never thought about that.
I don't qualify for any of that crap. I was a federal employee for many years. So. Good Lord.
Well, Pappy Glenn Estes told us, I heard inflation going up 12 to 15%. Well, gas is up 3 from 2. Beef is up 7% from 4%, and natural gas will skyrocket because of closed pipelines. Yeah. This also pertains to medical, such as insurance and medications. Yep, I think it has affected me by 55%.
Good googly oogly.
Jiminy Christmas.
Must be in a higher tax bracket than I am. Tommy Parker said, I almost had a heart attack filling up my Malibu today. The cost of gas is higher than a cat's ass in a windy day. That's pretty high.
You almost got a shower.
It is a Jimmy Carter BS all over again. No wonder the Democrats are trying to erase history. It's definitely repeating itself without the Billy beer. Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brendan.
Cat's ass on a
I
windy
was reading
day.
an article the other day that these companies that are putting out these caps and T-shirts, Pappy, that says "Let's go, Brandon."
Yeah.
They can't keep them on the shelves. They just can't.
My FJB T-shirt should be coming in this week.
Oh, I see. You're a rebel, I'll tell you. Joshua Fenelon told Tammy that his weird gas was $4.11 under George W. Bush in 2008,
Yeah.
and that was up from his low of $1.14 in 2002.
Yeah.
Must have been really bad for you. He also included a chart with gas prices from 93 to 2021. Well, I will say this. Joshua was right about the $4.11 a gallon because I looked it up. But that was for July only of 2008. That very same chart that Joshua gave us, Pappy, you'll love this, shows that by December of 2008, gas was down to $1.74 a gallon. The last year of Bush's presidency saw gas prices vary from a low of $1.84 a gallon to a high of $2.66.
I remember.
So there you
those
go.
days, yeah.
I researched it, Joshua.
But how does that cure the hunger of old Black Betty sitting out in the driveway here?
Yeah, that's true. She likes to drink, don't she?
Yes, she does. Probably more.
Gets that honestly.
Probably more so than I do. I don't spend that kind of money on my drinks.
I heard that.
Gerald Plunkett said our kids are grown up and have moved on. The prices for food, gas, regular bills, health insurance, and medicine have gotten ridiculous. Yes, they have.
Man.
Brennan Leggett says we pay at least an extra $150 to $200 in groceries for a family of 3, and that's just a few things and not a bunch of choices.
I could agree with that. Yeah. Oh man, I don't see how families that have kids
Oh God,
put food on the table. I really don't.
I don't either.
Our listener Donna Briggs Moss from Florida said we are thankful that we aren't suffering, but we're paying much more for everything. During doing the old question, is that a want or a need thing? It is a gut-wrenching for families with children, and I fear it will only get worse.
And that's pretty much my take.
Donna Ray, I agree with you 100%.
I think it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. So,
Yeah.
just my opinion. Skip Anthony told us what I used to be able to buy at the grocery store for $100 now costs me $200. Melissa Hill McLean said it's just getting worse. Our groceries and gas have gone up almost 50%. This has to stop. Mike Tanner said Social Security is my only income. It is better than many because I had some really good years. SSI needs to step up and at least get recipients back to the poverty level. So that I agree with.
Yeah. Yeah, but that poverty level amount, Pappy, changes so quickly.
Well,
Here lately with all the inflation and spending.
I mean, looking at the average American that makes $58,000 a year, gets on Social Security and it drops down to what? $30,000 a year?
Less than that,
25,000?
actually.
Depends on what you draw.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Finally today, Donnie Carney said, I'm about to move to Mexico and sneak back across.
Get that big
Brent
check.
Hardy says to be sure and send your kids across at a different location. That way you'll get the maximum payout.
That's right. Three squares in a cot, too.
Lord have mercy. I'm telling you, if they don't get this inflation under control, and you know the ones, Pappy, we've alluded to the senior citizens and the older folks.
Right.
Another section of our population that is really hurting right now is the veterans.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the veterans. I was reading an article
They've
the other
always
day
been kicked in the butt.
about a veteran that called the Veterans Affairs Office asking for help, and they hung up on him.
Oh, hell.
That pissed me off. Our veterans deserve a lot better than what this country's giving them. Thank God for our vets.
Wow. That's
Well, you had some good opinions on
Yes, you
inflation,
did.
and it just keeps getting better and better. Our next segment, we're going to be talking about a happy thing,
yeah.
and that is memories, your best memories from Thanksgiving that you've had over the years, with this being Thanksgiving week.
Yeah.
We're going to take this time out, and when we come back, we're going to talk more about those Thanksgiving memories with you and share what you had to say with us. We'll take this break, and we'll be right back.
When selling your home, you could do everything yourself. But if you have a RE/MAX agent, they know a team of experts who will get the job done right. When selling your home.
Welcome back to the Grandpa and Pappy Show. We're talking inflation today, and we appreciate all of the opinions that you gave us on that. But this next segment is actually kind of a happy one.
Yeah, it is.
It's about your Thanksgiving memories. What were your favorite ones? Let's start it off. I'm gonna put K-Bird on the spot and pull your mic over there, Karen. And do you have a Thanksgiving memory that you comes to mind?
I mean, we always went to, we alternated grandmothers at Thanksgiving, but I always remember the ones from my big mamas that, had the many acres of land. And I think the most thing is the smell of the cooking. And our uncle would always take us out into the woods and do a little tour around the woods and things like that when I was a little girl. So basically, the food, for crying out loud, especially when it's made by your grandma.
Oh man.
True.
What you
that.
talking about, little girl?
Yeah.
True that.
Even though I was the pickiest eater in the world, I
Yes,
might have
you
ate
were.
mashed potatoes, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
I had some of those.
How about
too.
you, Pappy?
Oh God, there's so many of them.
No kidding.
Of course, as you know, I was born and raised in Lubbock, and my grandparents, my grandfather worked for the city of Lubbock, about halfway between a little town called Sudan and Muleshoe, Texas.
Know where I would at.
And he was the overseer of thousands of acres of water well fields, and had a 5.5 million gallon water reservoir right beside the house, a little 2-bedroom, 1-bath house, right? And I remember so vividly, there'd be 40 of us crammed in that house, blankets and mattresses everywhere. But just like K-Bird said, that smell, man, it just that holiday smell of Grandma and Mom and all the aunts cooking and everybody would chip in, and do this, and of course the boys would be out running ape shit crazy out in the well fields, jackrabbit hunting and acting a fool, and then it was time to eat.
And we ate.
Oh man!
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you. I mean, I remember my fondest memories of going down to my grandmother and grandfather Latham's house, and all, and like you were saying, there was so many people there.
Yeah.
And they couldn't keep the kids in, the boys especially. I mean, we were outside wrestling and getting lost in the woods and, going on all kinds of adventures. And I think you told me this morning y'all didn't come in either until they said, "Get your butts in here now."
And we did get lost in a blizzard. My
I
two
know.
elder brothers and a good friend of my middle brothers for
But
about
I
6.5 hours. It
I
was
do
bad.
remember those, and I do remember all of the great foods, because my aunts and my grandmother and my mom, all of them great cooks.
Oh,
I mean,
Lord, yeah.
man, there was enough to feed the Fifth Army.
No comparison in that type of cooking
no,
back in the day.
not at all. But we asked you guys what your best Thanksgiving Day memories were, so let's check it in and see it. Danny Green said that one is easy. Grandma's pies, ham, turkey, and the Dallas Cowboys winning on Thanksgiving Day. We used to also watch Texas and Texas A&M that night, but no more. God, I miss those days with a house full of relatives having great fun.
I think that's what I miss the most is the camaraderie of all the cousins and aunts and uncles and everybody getting together.
Yeah, unfortunately, most of my relatives have passed on.
Yeah, same here.
I don't have an aunt or an uncle left, and of course all my grandparents are gone. My parents are gone, so
I imagine this Thanksgiving will be spent at Luby's, which I don't have a bit of problem
Well,
with.
there's an idea.
I don't have any family to go see. They're all somewhere else, my boys. But I might get to see my boys.
There you go.
A little post-Thanksgiving visit, so I hope so. Jerry Williamson says for him it was being with my mom, dad, and brother at my grandparents' house and having Thanksgiving with my wife and kids and grandkids. It all comes around, and each one was special in its own way.
Oh, yeah. Very well said,
yeah.
Jerry. Very well said.
Yeah.
Callie Rand Saxton down in Houston said it was my cousin Tanner and I trying to pull apart the turkey wishbone, which is very soft and doesn't break like a chicken bone, and a large bone jammed into my thumb. Then my uncle tried to remove it from my hand while my dad was yelling, "Why is my one-eyed brother doing this?" You gotta love the Rand family. And if you know them, you know exactly what she's talking about.
Oh, Lord. I got a picture in my mind I'll never get rid of.
I do too.
Brent Hardy says it was sitting at the kids' table well into adulthood. Joey Thibault said it was his gram smacking my hand because I was snacking on the stuff she was cutting up. She still let me have a few more veggies, though.
Now, how many times did that happen to you?
Oh, Grandma.
When you think they weren't looking and you just sneak in there,
Yeah.
try to get a piece of turkey or something. Pop!
Well, with Grandma Hollis, my mom's mom, she'd look around to see where Mom and Dad was, and she'd hand me something.
Oh, she would. I got you. It's like feeding the dog under the table.
That's it, exactly.
I love it.
And it was all good.
Well, let's see here. Josh Brooks said not having to work on Thanksgiving. Now I work 14-hour shifts on Thanksgiving.
Jeez.
Paul Garrison told me it was when the Cowboys used to win on Thanksgiving.
Which they didn't bother to do last night.
No, they didn't. I don't think they got off the plane yesterday. It was bad.
But my boy John come through, and
Yeah.
if they're going to lose to somebody, I'd just soon it be Mahomes than anybody else, yeah. Judy Gilly told us that she misses dinners at my grandparents' house, as they had a big family. We always had uncles, aunts, and cousins there. Sean Robert Allgood out in California says it was Thanksgiving with my grandma and her homemade apple pie.
How many times did you
Ooh-wee.
just stuff yourself on homemade pies
A lot.
that your mom, your grandmom, and all of your aunts would make?
Mom was the aficionado of from scratch coconut cream pie, and Aunt Betty, her sister, would make one mean ass chocolate pie.
I think one of the things I'll vividly remember all my life is I played basketball in high school.
Yeah.
Basketball wasn't really my game, but I played for a number, and have a number. And I remember working out the next day, or the next workout after Thanksgiving. I remember hearing my coach tell his assistant coach, "Boy, he must have had a good Thanksgiving. I bet he put on 10 pounds."
Brings back a ugly memory for me playing basketball. It's the first time I ever played basketball on a team at the boys' club in Lubbock.
Oh, yeah.
And I was a little short fat boy, 5'2", 160. Jumped up probably that far off the floor.
I still jump up that far off the floor.
If my feet even cleared the floor, went up for a rebound, bink! First time I broke my nose.
I heard that.
One of many.
Paula Reardon said for her it was always going to Grandma's for a couple of days at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
We always had a lot to eat, and we kids had a big area to play out in the backyard.
Yeah.
There was always good smells coming out of her kitchen, and I remember all of that laughter, too. And it just wasn't the kids laughing.
That's magic, yeah. That's
Yes,
magic
it was.
stuff. Alice Harvey told us it was a large family gatherings and lots of good memories. The love and laughter we shared will never be forgotten in our hearts. Those were the days. I agree. Penny Steele agreed, saying having the whole family together. And Michaela Brigoli said for her it was her aunt catching her hair on fire.
I'll bet that was a good story.
that kicked the party right off, I bet.
No kidding. And finally today,
Lord.
Pappy John Allen Warfield said it is the old times that I have the most memories of.
Yeah.
When we all gathered at our grandpa's house, there were usually 25 to 30 of us at one time. Boy, was there a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I remember all of the good food we ate and Grandma's coconut cream pie and ice cream for dessert. It was a wonder all of us kids were not overweight, but we usually ran it off playing outside. Then we would all gather around the TV and watch the Dallas Cowboy game. It was always sad to hear Dad say, "Okay, kids, it's time to go home." Those are the precious memories I share since my grandparents and parents have both passed away.
The magic of the holidays.
It is that. It is
Thank
definitely
Thank
that.
you, everybody, for sharing those memories.
It
That's
is, and we hope you make
very
some
enlightening.
great memories this Thanksgiving
That's
with
right.
your family. I know a lot of folks, as we were talking about in the beginning of our show about inflation, it's
Yeah.
going to affect a lot of people traveling
Yeah.
or being
Lord,
able
yeah.
to travel, I should say, on Thanksgiving, and hopefully you can have Thanksgiving with your families.
Yeah.
Make some new memories. That's what I said.
That's it. I'm
There you
down.
go.
I'm down with that, as long as they're good.
Happy, let's take a look at some of the feedback we got during the week and our viewer comments. Mark Liddy told us he enjoyed our show on the Republican rhinos. I'm glad to know who they were and that no one was from Texas. It is partly their fault for all of the skyrocketing prices we're seeing and will continue to see.
Ain't it so?
Yes, sir.
Maria Valdez said on YouTube that she was glad to see us talk about getting back to work. I'm a naturalized citizen, and it hurts me to see Americans become lazy by not wanting to work and achieve something.
Maria, very, very well said.
Good on you, sweetheart.
Man, I wished a lot of Americans would listen to
Yeah.
what some of these naturalized Americans have
No,
had to go through just to be in this country.
Well, we've always pretty much been a lazy country, you know. I mean, because of the privilege card.
There you go. Finally today, Paul Allen said, "My wife made me watch your show on pet peeves, and I have to admit I laughed at some of the comments you read. Why? Because a lot of them are the exact ones I have. You have an unusual show, but I enjoyed it."
So we hear.
There you go. Hey,
So weird.
if you would like to be a part of the Grandpa and Pappy show and suggest something to us,
Please do. Yeah.
please do that. We encourage it. Your ideas and questions a lot of times make this show and gives our viewers a chance to really comment on what's on their mind based on your question. If you have a question or a suggestion for a show, or you just want to make a general comment, you can do so by going to our Gmail site at grandpaandpappy@gmail.com.
Absolutely.
Or
Or you can hit us up on our show website page directly just by keying in www.grandpaandpappy.com. That's grandpa with the letter N, pappy.com.
yes, sir.
When you push that, you'll see this big old red button right there. Push it. Don't be scared. It ain't going to cost you one penny. We are numbers driven, and we welcome all subscriptions, all opinions, whether we agree with them or not. We're always looking for show topic ideas.
Absolutely.
Please send them on. We'd love to have you on board.
Yeah, or you can go to our Grandpa and Pappy Facebook group page where you'll see 90% or a little better of all of the opinions
Yep.
that are expressed right here on the Grandpa and Pappy
That
show.
is a natural fact. Plus, that can be obtained, the Facebook group page,
Yeah.
from our website,
Yeah.
which we also have Instagram and, what is it, Twitter? Mm-hmm. Feel free. Just
Absolutely.
let us hear from you. Or
And
you
YouTube.
can even leave comments on YouTube, which is our base platform. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you guys have a terrific Thanksgiving. We want you to reach out and hug your kids and let them know that you love them.
and take care of one another,
Absolutely.
especially during the time of the season like we're in. You know,
Absolutely.
Celebrate.
Time of
Be
thanks.
glad for the family you've got. Give them a hug from us and tell them babies they're well loved. Right here at the Grandpa and Pappy Show, too. By God, amigo.
Absolutely.
Loving babies.
Until we see you next week, have a great Thanksgiving, a great weekend. Take care of yourself. God bless you. God bless America. Until we see you again, Have a good one, everybody, and be safe.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Bye-bye.